Hey everyone, so today we're looking up at one of Busan's most famous landmarks, but we're going way beyond just the amazing views. We're going to dive deep into the hidden story of Busan Tower, and trust me, it's a powerful tale that literally rises from the ashes.
You know how every city has those peaceful spots? The places you go to just relax and get away from all the noise? Well, what if one of its calmest, most serene parks was actually built on a foundation of absolute tragedy and unimaginable loss? That's the secret of Yongdusan Park, and that's what we're going to uncover today. So here it is, Yongdusan Park. It's sitting right in the middle of bustling Busan, a beautiful green space that's home to monuments, shady trees, and of course, that famous tower. For most people who visit, it's the perfect spot for a photo and just a nice, quiet moment in a super busy city. And you know, even the name itself tells a story. Yongdusan actually means Dragon's Head Mountain. The story goes that the shape of the hill looked like a giant dragon's head, protecting the city from any invaders coming in from the sea. It's this powerful symbol of safety. But, as we're about to see, that protection couldn't last forever. Because this peaceful park, it has a past that was literally forged in fire. To really understand the tower that's standing here right now, we have to go back in time. Back to the Korean War, and a devastating crisis that all went down on this exact spot in 1954.
Okay, so to really get what happened, you gotta picture the scene during the Korean War. Busan was way far away from the front lines, so it became the provisional capital of South Korea. It was seen as this relative safe haven.
And that promise of safety, it was like a magnet. I mean, a lot of people came. Just look at this number. 1 million refugees poured into a city that was originally built for maybe 300,000 people. Can you even imagine? The strain on the city was just absolutely immense.
So where did all those people go? Well, a lot of them ended up right here, on the slopes of Yeongdusan Mountain. They built these really dense shantytowns, with homes packed right up against each other, made from whatever they could get their hands on, plywood, cardboard, you name it. And in the winter, of course, they used fire to stay warm. The whole area just became a tinderbox, waiting for a single spark.
And this timeline here, it really shows how quickly this disaster just built up. In 1950, as all the refugees were arriving, the government also moved about 4,000 priceless royal relics to a warehouse nearby, right here, for safekeeping. But then, look at December of 1954. On the 10th, a fire breaks out, destroys hundreds of buildings. Then just 16 days later, a second fire starts, and this one would become a national tragedy.
And that second fire wasn't just about losing homes and property. It was an irreplaceable cultural catastrophe. It wasn't just the refugee shanties that burned. It was a huge piece of Korea's royal history that went up in smoke.
Get this. Of the 4,000 priceless artifacts that were stored in that warehouse, it's estimated that 3,400 of them were lost. Just gone forever. I mean, that's an almost total loss.
And maybe the most heartbreaking part of all this was the royal portraits of the Joseon dynasty kings. These weren't just paintings, you know? They were the literal faces of a 500-year-long dynasty. And out of the 48 portraits that were stored there for safety, 30 of them were completely incinerated.
Just to put that loss into perspective, after that one single fire, recognizable portraits survived for only a tiny handful of Joseon kings: Taejo, Sejong, Yeongjo, and Choljong. The faces of an entire line of rulers just vanished in the flames.
And if that wasn't bad enough, here's the final tragic twist. The official list, the document that cataloged everything that was in that collection, it was destroyed in a separate arson incident years later. So that means we may never, ever truly know the full extent of the cultural treasures that turned to ash that day.
But the story of Yongdusan Park doesn't end in tragedy. Because from this very site of devastation, a new symbol was about to rise, one that would signal a whole new era for Busan.
I mean, this slide just captures that dramatic shift perfectly. Before 1973, Yongdusan was a place defined by its really painful history of war and disaster. But after 1973, it was intentionally remade to become a symbol of progress, of peace, and of public enjoyment.
And you know, this wasn't an accident. It was completely intentional. When Busan Tower was built in 1973, it was built with a really clear purpose: to be a symbol of development and to pray for the prosperity and peace of Busan. It was this powerful statement of resilience, built right on the ground that had seen so much suffering.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to today. When you visit Yongdusan Park now, you're not just looking at a pretty view. You're actually standing in the middle of this incredible story of resilience and rebirth.
So obviously, you've got the main attraction, the 120-meter-high Busan Tower, with those incredible panoramic views. But you'll also find a statue of Admiral Lee Sun-sin, another great protector of Korea. There's the Citizen's Bell, a beautiful flower clock, all these symbols of the park's modern, peaceful identity.
Oh, and getting there? It's super easy. Just hop on Metro Line 1 to Nampo Station, go out exit 7, and it's a short walk from there. You can even use the public escalator, which is pretty convenient, to get right up the hill.
Now, if you want my advice for the best experience, try to visit in the spring for the cherry blossoms or in the autumn when the weather is mild and the foliage is beautiful. But I have to say, visiting after sunset when all the city lights below create this glittering, magical spectacle, wow, that is truly something special.
So I guess all of this leaves us with one final thought. The next time you're standing at a famous viewpoint like Busan Tower, ask yourself this: are you just seeing the view? Or are you connecting with the powerful stories of tragedy, of resilience, and of rebirth that are hidden just beneath the surface?